We all have those days where we need a hug. Maybe something didn't go your way. Maybe you're just in a bad mood for whatever reason. Maybe you were like me yesterday, just wishing you had that closeness with an individual. And that sometimes is the source of my frustration. I see other people in relationships, or I will see girls around me, girls I can interact with, but they're just not the right girl for me. And maybe that's an issue of mine because I'm a very traditional guy. I'm not looking for some casual thing. I'm not looking to just settle for anyone. I'm looking for my wife. Plain and simple. I would not date someone I would not marry. And it's interesting when I'm in these kind of moods because I'm not necessarily in that mood today. Of course, I'm making this video, but I've slept on it. And sometimes you wake up and you feel life's wonderful. You wake up and you're just content with being single. You're content with everything that you have right now, and that's wonderful. But sometimes people focus too much on the positive and they don't necessarily allow themselves to acknowledge the negative, maybe these thoughts that they're having. And they're not necessarily negative. It's just sort of the human experience. How I wish I had someone to hug like that, to love, to cherish. And maybe it doesn't help that the other day I was also watching the film Crazy Stupid Love. And at the end it got me in the feels, shall we say. You know, that's the vibe, just watching romantic movies in the evening time by yourself in the living room. That's when you have your deepest thoughts. And it's amusing to me. It's very amusing to me. And I'm sort of grateful for it because it shows that I have a combination of masculinity as well as femininity. I think too many guys, they overcompensate, I believe, with their masculinity. And I was the same. I would be the kind of guy who wouldn't smile with people. I would be the kind of guy like everyone else who doesn't want to talk to people. Or maybe I did want to speak to people, but I just thought it was very unmasculine of me to just start these conversations and be social in that way. But I'm glad I've tapped into my feminine energy. And I'm still a masculine presented man. I still have my goals. I still have my purpose. I still have my courage, my determination, discipline, strength. But I don't disregard my empathy, which is something that I've struggled with for quite a while. Empathy was always something very alien to me. I don't disregard my desire for love, my passion for music, dance, nature, all these feminine things that we sometimes reject because it isn't manly. And my desire just for love in general. Just to have that person. And I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen someday. Whether it be a year from now or when I'm 30 years old. Better late than never. But I don't know, man. It's just very interesting to have these emotions and experiences when you're trying to develop yourself. Because there's guys online who say, oh, you shouldn't ignore it, and all success a lot of the time comes from when you tap into that desire, when you have a girlfriend. But I just haven't met that person. I've met people who are lovely individuals and they will make someone very happy, but they won't be able to make me happy long term, and I won't be able to make them happy long term. And some people may criticize me for having this kind of mindset. They may say I'm too picky, but as I said, I'm looking for my wife. I'm not out here trying to have something casual as much as I would like to. This isn't to say that I haven't thought about it. This isn't to say that I haven't thought about, dabbling in hookup culture. Because it's a very nice ego boost as a man. And men are sometimes praised for it. To be that guy who, he sees a girl, who goes up to the girl, gets her number, takes her out for a drink, bang, does the deed, don't hear from him again, great. Just another notch on the bedpost. And that is what it is. I'm not going to judge it, but that's just a whole separate thing. And I'd be lying to myself if I said I didn't want to get involved in that. But it's ultimately just short-term pleasure. I know that if I do that, if I tap into that, it would just be a distraction from my deepest self, I believe. The man that I could be, essentially. Why would I bother sleeping around? Why would I bother giving into that desire, that lust, that ego, when I could just wait? When I could just have that experience with someone special? You have to just be honest with yourself. If you're genuinely the kind of guy who wants to do that stuff, be my guest. If that's something that you genuinely want to do, if it's something you think about, it's something that you want to get experience in before you settle down, I perfectly understand. It makes sense to me. Go ahead, be my guest. And there's a part of me that maybe thinks I'd obviously learn a lot of things. I'd obviously get some kind of benefit from it, but I don't want to waste my time. I just want a hug. That's all it boils down to. I just want to have that girl where the love is not plastic. It's not, single use. It's not it's not just about the fun activity or the pleasure. It's about so much more than that. It's so hard to put into words, man, especially as a dude when you try and convey your emotions in a way, because sometimes you're not used to it. As I said, this is something that I've tried to recently tap into, is the feminine energy. And I encourage you to do it as well. Like I said, I'm not saying that you should be, suddenly give in to all this feminine stuff or whatever, but embrace your feminine side. A lot of guys get this mixed up where they think, I should just be girly and tap into all this modern stuff and yada yada. No. If you're a masculine man, be a masculine man. But don't reject the feminine aspects. I always say, if you're 80% masculine, don't reject your 20% feminine. You will be a much better man if you embrace it. If you allow yourself to be the total man instead of trying to be overly masculine. Or there's guys out there who, sadly, due to today's conditioning, try to be overly feminine and are scared to be themselves out of fear of social judgment and isolation. But I can say that I'm comfortable in my skin now. I'm comfortable to be masculine. I'm comfortable to be feminine as well. I'm comfortable being the man I am today. And I'm comfortable sitting here and saying that I need a hug. And there's people who may criticize me for that. There's people that may say, that's a bit weird. Why? What are you saying that for? But I don't care, ultimately. I'm just here speaking my mind. If you're listening to this and you resonate with it, fantastic. Come along for the ride. Subscribe for more. And if you don't resonate with that, then please find someone else on this platform or whatever that you want to listen to that you actually relate to. that would be great for you to find someone who is like you, who thinks the same as you do. So that's my little piece for today. My little mind scratch. We'll get there in the end. It'll all be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. I hope you've enjoyed this video, bro. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. And as always, you take very good care of yourself.